As we sit here tonight, thousands of men, women, and children are looking for a place to sleep in Sydney. Homelessness is a socioeconomic problem that affects everybody. Anybody from any walk of life can be affected. My name is Diego, and I'm here to talk to you about the Gateway Pub, a social enterprise that aims to give young Australians that are homeless a way out of homelessness. The problem is that there's 105,000 people across Australia living without a home. 43,000 of them are young adults. They're not lazy, they're not incapable of work. The reality is that statistically, most of them have lost their homes just because of domestic violence or family breakdowns, not because of alcohol abuse, not because of drug abuse. Our solution is that homeless people will be our staff. This is because the Gateway will be like an all-classic pub, except we believe in social empowerment. We believe that by giving this marginalized sect of society a chance, they can and will change their lives. We work on one simple notion, that people want to do good, that everybody wants and has an instinct to go out there and help somebody that's in need, but we're mostly constrained by time or finances. We hope to change that. How? The answer is actually pretty simple. Every time you go to a pub and you spend $1, around 21.7 cents of that, on average, is used to pay for staff wages. But what if we change that? If we're able to redistribute our revenue in order to give the homeless people more, we can offer them something that nobody else is: a home, training, and food, all whilst working for us. This is a profit and loss statement based on an average performing pub that is medium-sized in New South Wales. The Gateway aims to hire 10 people in the first year of operation. That would cost us approximately $360,000. If we're able to achieve just average alcohol and food sales whilst maintaining our expenses as the industry standard, we're able to create a profit of over $100,000. Our target market are 18 to 25-year-olds, not only because socially and culturally they're more centered around pubs, but because they actually understand the factors that could drive somebody to be homelessness, the pressures that it is like to be starting a job. Out of a survey that we had to validate our business idea, 87% of people said that they would actually be interested in a service like this one. Now, this empathy allows for our customers to be connected with the staff, with their ideas, their growth, their successes, which gives us a loyal customer base. Now, how do we attract customers? Well, initially, we would share their stories. We would tell society why they're homeless, what happened, allow them to understand. In order to get more people in, prior to the opening, we'd have a soft launch for social media personalities, people that want to get involved, allow them to understand what is going on, and share that movement with their followers. Finally, experience the Gateway. Society is changing. People are no longer interested in just a pub where you can get a drink and have some food. They want something else. They want to be part of a movement. And at the Gateway, we offer something that nobody else is. It is a highly competitive industry. There's over 5,000 venues vying for customers. However, it's also highly fragmented, with the market leader, the Australian Leisure and Hospitality Group, only holding about 9% of that market share. This high level of individuality is actually an advantage for us because it shows that anybody can enter the market as long as they do it right and they offer something different. This is mostly due to the high level of substitution because establishments are not mutually exclusive. Customers will regularly try the newcomer and see if it's a new experience, see if it's something that they like. So why are we different? Well, because when you come into the Gateway, your patronage actually allows you to meet the person whose life you're changing. They're right there in front of you. When you go and pay for a drink or you buy a meal, you're getting to meet the person whose life is better because of you. We offer an opportunity for our customers to come in and feel an intrinsic reward. It's that connection that we're basically selling. We offer something that might not be tangible, but it's far more powerful. So our team. Myself, a master's degree candidate here at the University of Sydney. Tony Sinclair, who's our mentor. Claire Dean, who is the founder of Rough Threads. It's a social enterprise running out of Annandale. Hannah Abling, who's a senior relationship advisor for Social Enterprise and Finance Australia. So what's next? We've started to basically create things that we can release in social media, start the conversation going. We also hope that the City of Sydney, who we've applied for some grants with and some support, will come back to us soon. By January 2018, we want to have raised enough capital to actually invest in a venue to transform it to the Gateway. At that time, we also wish to solidify partnerships with social enterprises like Rough Threads or the Good Beer Company. Ultimately, launching by September 2018, just before the holiday season, in order to capitalize on that increase in demand for hospitality services. Finally, I want to leave you with this. If only my pockets were as generous as my thoughts, world hunger would be no more. Homelessness would be but a memory, and poverty cease to exist. This is exactly what that the Gateway hopes that we're offering. For the thoughts of our customers to actually be transformed, and for the pockets to actually be as generous as their thoughts. Thank you. Yeah.
Well done. It was a nice start as well.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, have you thought about ways of, because a big risk of yours, especially financially, will be taking on that lease of the venue. Have you thought about creative ways of maybe testing your idea out prior to taking on a risky 12 to, more than 12-month lease?
Yeah, so we thought about having sort of a functional nights in a way. So talking to establishments that are already set up and have a working space maybe upstairs, and doing a similar thing that a lot of smaller restaurants start doing, where they go share their food with people at a venue where they're not paying rent, they're not risking that amount, and allowing people to actually experience us without us having to invest the full amount of capital in first. So kind of give people a taster, get feedback, build the company better, and keep on doing that until obviously we feel that we're ready to go to market.
Sorry, one more. I would also like to ask, have you thought about getting access to, whether on an advisory board, someone who's got experience running a pub or running?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have made contact with some people and have been asking whether or not they'd be interested. It is a little bit difficult because some of them are interested and some of them don't really see the value in it. But hopefully, yeah, absolutely. It'd be amazing to have somebody who knows the more niggly channels of distribution, you know, how to get everything into the pub that's required. So yeah, it'd be a great advantage.
Which sort of brings me quite closely onto the thing that I find really interesting is that there's two elements. One is I feel this should work even if these people aren't on the street. Yeah, so if this pub should work even I should not have to know that people on the people behind the bar on the street for it to operate. Yeah. So that I think is one key thing. The other thing I'm kind of interested in is just from a regulation point of view, because you're effectively cutting wages and generally people in pubs are paid at the minimum award rate. You're actually going to be paying them less than that. So how does that all stack up?
Yeah, so we'd actually register as a program instead of actually registering as a full kind of a job. And by doing that, we actually just have to provide them with enough sort of backing for them to actually survive in this program. And overall, we're actually paying them more if you take into account how much money we're devoting to them. It'd be about $36,000 a person, which is more than the minimum wage in Sydney at the moment. Minimum wage in Sydney is 34. So we're actually trying to stay above that, show people that we're not in it to make thousands of dollars. And the profit is genuinely there so we can grow the business and hopefully start more pubs that do the same idea.
It's fantastic. So one of the reasons I like the model is it follows the model of The Big Issue, which was started in London something like 30 years ago. It seems a very similar model, only in a different environment.
Yeah, and look, it's a powerful message you're projecting about its social empowerment, but there is also an experience offered to customers, and I take your point. It's got to stand on its own 2 feet. But clearly, there is an element of attracting people for the experience of, as you said, finding some more purpose than going to the pub rather than playing pool. Yeah. Now, it's this is a fine line though, because you're into areas where people are homeless, as you said. You've given some categories, but clearly there are some mental health issues and other issues, and also coming to the point that simply just not everyone's suited for customer service roles. Yes. I imagine there might be some other roles, but you want to just explore that, because I think there is a slight, I don't know if it's regulatory sort of health, it's a responsibility. It's a two-way responsibility.
Yeah, so like any program, we'd actually have to we'd have to interview people, actually understand who they were. You're absolutely correct. You wouldn't want to put somebody in a situation where they're not comfortable, but also could actually worsen their situation by making them feel devalued already more than the marginalized community already is. So at first we'd have to partner up. That's why the partnering up with a social organization like Rough Threads would happen. They know the people well. They can actually guide you through the first few steps, make sure you don't make a mistake like that. And also we'd concentrate on hiring the younger population, simply because most of them have only been homeless for a short amount of time, and it's them who we can get out quicker. We can provide them with a job where they can stand on their own feet and move on from there. And in terms of that, we'd also like to get connected with counselors that could actually guide them through maybe some of the emotions they might be feeling, because obviously there'd also be some trauma from being homeless that you could potentially have. And so backing them in every possible way in terms of health, but also their living would be great.
And maybe I just follow up the previous comment about the wages, yeah, and it's all about not being seen to be exploiting those people. I would suggest in your business plan you actually bring that out, because you really do want to address that and nail that about your program and how you can address the issue of human rights and those sorts of issues.
All right. Thank you very much.
The 2 Hatch Prizes. So as I said before, they're given to us very generously by our friends at the Sydney Social Innovation Hub. So I would like to invite up Camilla Chow, who will present the certificate. And the second winner is the Gateway. Well done, Diego. Congratulations.